Okay, good afternoon. Thank you. And since Russia's European identity is a kind of ambivalent or split identity, I can give you two lists of European uncertainties, what I consider. One is how we see your European, if we mean Europe by EU, and how we see European if we mean a slightly wider Europe. So it's Brexit, you care so much about it, but I guess it's returned to kind of traditional, already existed in history, trilateral structure of the Euro-Atlantic West, and nothing new strategically happens in this case. Migration inflow is still uncertainty, but I guess you already got used to this inflow, and thanks God it stopped, and now it could resume because of what's happening in Kurdistan, in Syria, with a new offensive of Turkey. Then right-wing parties, right-wing politicians, and even traditionalists. If we mean Poland, for example, those who are still in power, I don't know whether they're going to keep, though it's, their chances really very strong. They're traditionalists, but those traditionalists, those who nowadays Europe, a kind of really old-fashioned, and those who make berries upon let's say greater dynamism of Europe for the development of the European Union. And sure, here from Russia there are two different attitudes. Once it's to follow your, let's say, kind of general public attitude that it's a kind of challenge, it's something new, it's outstanding, it's all that stuff. And another, some of the Russians, so they consider that they can play with these right-wingers and traditionalists. There are not always traditionalists are ready to interact with the Russians. Once again, this Polish case. Balkans, sure, they're not any more as wide as they were previously, such an immense field of problems, but this bunch of Serbia, Kosovo, and Macedonia is still there. It's still an uncertainty. Then it's Trump's US foreign policy towards Europe that makes US more distant from Europe, that somehow poses difficulties inside Europe. It brings additional problems when it comes to overall organization of world trade, and makes all the agreements of EU with its neighbors, traditional partners, including African or ACP partners, let's say, more complicated, since US behaves in the world trade system in an absolutely non-WTO, let us say, way. And then another list, a list of, let us say, great Europe problems. First of all, it's Ukraine. Then it's Turkey, because Turkey provokes European problems outside Europe, but then they come to Europe again with more migration, again with unrest in the Middle East, again with new, sometimes very surprising unions, alliances when it comes to the situation in the Middle East. It involves the Europeans and sure, Russia itself.
Okay. Do you mind if I just come back? I'm just curious, why do you think Russia is so attractive to European right-wingers? How do you explain that to yourself?
I guess it's simply a very superficial and wrong attitude, because they simply say something that different from what those traditionalists, I mean traditionalists in Western European say. They say different things that the governments, and it's old-fashioned game that dates to the between-war periods to find out different awkward groupings and to deal with them, having in mind their potential access to power. But I guess both this attitude is wrong, And next, that those awkward groupings, in spite the fact that they happen to be very numerous, that they come at once in some periods to the European scene, that they not, let's say, a kind of overwhelming trend in Europe.